It's a show everyone is talking about. Which JW Lie is it anyway? With our host, Susan Gaskin. And meet our contestants, the wife of a ministerial servant. And she's being challenged by a JW elder. Hello everyone, and welcome to our very special game show, Which JW Lie is it anyway? So I wanted everyone to meet our contestants. In the studio with us today, we have wife of a ministerial servant.
Hi. 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 Yes, I feel extra covered with Jehovah's Spirit today because I've got my JW.og bra on, my JW.og panties on, and...
Okay, yes, that's quite a bit of information there. And not at all idolatrous either. Joining us by satellite is a JW elder.
Hi.
Okay, great to have you here. It looks a bit like the satellite image is kind of stuck, but you sound very clear, so I think we can get on with the show. In the November JW broadcasting episode, Garrett Loesch went on and on about all the different kinds of lies there are. He went on for several minutes, and it was very long and very weird. So I kind of condensed it a bit so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. Here, let's have a look.
A lie is a false statement deliberately presented as being true, a falsehood. A lie is the opposite of the truth. Lying involves saying something incorrect to a person who is entitled to know the truth about a matter. But there is also something that is called a half-truth. The Bible tells Christians to be honest with each other. As to lies, there are different types. Then there are religious lies. Then there are many lies of a personal nature that people express in everyday life. There are small lies, big lies, and malicious lies. This does not make the child a malicious liar. It is a deliberate attempt to mislead somebody that has the right to know. Small lies, big lies, and malicious lies. Satan is a malicious liar. He is the champion of the lie. Since Jehovah hates liars, we should avoid all lies, not just big or malicious lies.
This organization clearly has a lot to say about lying, but maybe it's because they've become experts in this field. According to him, then, there are small lies, big lies, and then malicious lies. I don't know, though. When I was a child, I was taught that there were just lies, and that I wasn't to tell them. Let's see how a dictionary defines lying. So from dictionary.com, it defines lying in 4 different ways. Number 1 is a false statement made with deliberate intent to deceive, an intentional untruth, a falsehood. Number 2 is something intended or serving to convey a false impression, an imposture. Number 3, an inaccurate or false statement, a falsehood. Or number 4, the charge or accusation of telling a lie. So in the Jehovah's Witness world, there are basically 4 types of lies that they like to tell. The first one is malicious lies. These ones they like to blame on apostates or on Satan. Then they tell half-truths. This is when they give information but deliberately omit specific details with the intent of misleading people. They also tell falsehoods, where they're out and out lying to people. They're giving erroneous information to people. And the other lie they tell is what they call theocratic warfare, when they feel that when they're lying to somebody, it's acceptable, it's okay, because the person that they're telling the lie to is not entitled to hear the truth. So this is how we're going to play the game. Our 2 contestants are going to be shown a JW lie. When they know which kind of lie it is, they whether it's going to be a malicious lie, a half-truth, a falsehood, or theocratic warfare, they will buzzer in. Hit your buzzer. So, wife of a ministerial servant, here's your buzzer. And JW Elder, here's your buzzer. And then we're going to see who's correct. The person with the most points at the end of the game is going to be the winner. Do you want to see what you're playing for?
Yeah.
It's 2 tickets to the Paradise Earth. What?
What?
Just kidding. Sorry, I was just testing you. That's an example of a falsehood. And although the organization likes to promise fictional prizes, we won't do that here. The winner actually gets this.
I'm just a cart made up of bits and pieces, a frame, a handle, and some wheels. I'm so glad to be a public witness cart.
Okay, so that's what you're playing for, so let's get started with our first clip.
Think about the apostate-driven lies and dishonesties that Jehovah's organization is permissive toward pedophiles. I mean, that is ridiculous, isn't it? If anybody takes action against someone who would threaten our young ones and takes action to protect our young ones, it's Jehovah's organization. We reject outright such lies.
That was true. No. JW Elder, would you like to try?
Yes, it was true.
No. I actually gave you a sort of clue earlier that when JW.org blames it on apostates, it's one of the organization's malicious lies. Okay, so we're looking for the answer, which is malicious lie. Okay, come on, you two, come on. I'm trying to wake you two up. So, no points for anyone there. Now, our next clip features the branch committee overseer from Australia, and he's at the Royal Commission.
Well, I understand that he may have a role in translation, but I'm now coming to understand he has a significant role in relation to teaching, but also the general affairs of the Jehovah's Witnesses.
He wouldn't have involvement in matters to do with the Coordinators Committee, which handles legal, nor with the Service Committee, which handles service matters.
But he sits at the top with others in relation to all of those committees, doesn't he?
No, they're different governing body members are assigned specifically to different committees.
I understand that, but nevertheless, the governing body, I assume, has the ultimate say in all things.
When things come back to them as a governing body, yes.
And he's a member of that.
Yes, he's a member of the governing body.
He's here in Australia.
Mr. O'Brien, you've given evidence that you gave instructions to counsel on the point of Mr. Jackson not being able to assist and his activities being with relation to translations. And I, as a matter of fairness, must put to you that those instructions you gave were false. I put to you that when you gave those instructions, you knew them to be false.
No, I disagree.
And by giving those instructions, you sought to mislead the Royal Commission to protect Mr. Jackson from any potential summons to appear.
JW Elder?
Oh, well, that's an example of theocratic warfare because he was protecting the governing body member from having to testify and felt that the Australian Commission was not entitled to have access to him.
That's right. It was a case of theocratic warfare. Good job. And you just scored the first point. Wow, I'd never heard of that commission in Australia. Yes, you need to see it. It's fascinating what went on. Everybody needs to see it to believe it. Okay, now on to our next question. Now take a look at your screens in front of you. It says the JW organization joined the United Nations as a non-governmental organization from 1992 to 2001. Once discovered, they quit in haste and lied, claiming it was to get a UN library card. But no membership was needed for a library card.
Yeah. Yeah, that never happened, so I can't answer that.
Actually, it did happen. And this is something that you really need to know. You need to research this out for sure. And you can start your research at JW.og. Wife of a ministerial servant, do you know the answer to this one?
Well, no. I mean, I never read about this in a watchtower.
Well, they don't make it a point to publicize their lies. The answer to this one was a falsehood. Look, let's discuss an easy one together. The overlapping generation theory. You must see that it's insane, right? I mean, the organization said for decades that the end would come before the generation of 1914 died. But they died. They even quietly changed their awake masthead, as you can see here. So can we admit that the overlapping generation theory is a ridiculous lie?
Oh yes, it's a...
Buzzer in.
It's a falsehood.
Good, JW Elder. That's right, it's a falsehood. And a big one.
Yeah.
Do you see it too, wife of a ministerial servant? That it's a falsehood?
Yes, wow, it's an absurd falsehood.
Great! So we're both awake now. That's awesome. So let's move on. Now, at every convention, announcements are made about how much they are in the hole. And they really push for more donations to be given. But I'm not really sure if you're aware of this, but the surplus that they had from the previous conventions...
Yeah, they empty the account and give it all to the society, so each convention starts in the red.
I knew it!
Very good. So buzzer in when you know what kind of lie this is.
It's a falsehood.
Good. You just got your first point. Very good. So question number 5. Look up at your screen again. And this is taken from the now defunct Trinity brochure. The Trinity brochure was quoting from various sources. What they failed to quote is highlighted there in red. So the first instance they quoted from the Triune God, and I'll read the full quote there from the right column. It says, "They give us no formal or formulated doctrine of the Trinity, no explicit teaching that in one God there are 3 co-equal divine persons. But they do give us an elemental Trinitarianism, the data from which such a formal doctrine of the Triune God may be formulated." So they missed that part of it. And then from the next one, you see origin and evolution of religion. They missed the part where it says the beginning of the doctrine of the Trinity appears already in John. And then it further goes on to say, which they did quote, to Jesus and Paul, the doctrine of the Trinity was apparently unknown. At any rate, which again was not quoted, they say nothing about it.
Oh! Those are examples of half-truths because they deliberately misquoted their sources with the intent to mislead.
Very good. You scored another point. So now the game is tied. The Trinity brochure was full of half-truths.
So that must be why they got rid of the Trinity brochure, because it was full of half-truths.
Yep, full of crap.
Okay, well, we're going to need to break this tie. So this last question involves Jeffrey Jackson.
I regret to tell you, you're still not answering my question. Do you accept corporal punishment?
No.
You don't?
Not personally, no. And not as an organisation. We don't encourage it.
But do you prohibit it?
Our literature has pointed out that the true way to discipline children is by educating them, not giving corporal punishment.
Okay, we have wife of a ministerial servant who just buzzed in first.
That's a falsehood, because for years they encouraged corporal punishment. Every meeting there were kids getting whacked in the back of the hall.
Excellent, that's right. And if you look at your screens, you're going to see a quote from their own literature about this. From the Family Life book, it says, a spanking may be a lifesaver to a child, for God's word says, do not hold back discipline from the mere boy. In case you beat him with the rod, he will not die. With the rod, you yourself should beat him, that you may deliver his very soul from Sheol, the grave itself. Again, foolishness is tied up with the heart of a boy. The rod of discipline is what will remove it far from him. If parents hold their children's life interests dear to them, they will not weakly or carelessly let disciplinary actions slip from their hands. Love will motivate them to take action wisely and fairly when it is needed. So, wife of a ministerial servant, you came back for the win. You're today's champion. You win the witnessing card.
Oh, right. Well, I won't be needing that anymore.
Well, maybe you could use it for cleaning like a laundry cart or something.
Or maybe as an unwitnessing card. By the way, I'm not just the wife of a ministerial servant. I have a name. My name is Susan.
Hey, great name.
Oh, I thought it was Jezebel.
Okay now, settle down there now, King Asa.
It's pronounced Asa.
Whatever. But I want to thank both of you for being contestants on Which JW Lie Is It Anyway? I hope you had a good time.
Well, thank you. It was a true wake-up call.
That's good.
Much obliged.
And thank all of you for joining us in the audience and supporting our contestants. And we hope to see all of you again next time. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.